My name's Fernando Garcia. I'm 29 years old, and for work, I work in the line of duty as a correctional officer for the state of California. It was always family problems. I remember mom and dad always fighting. Uh, their love life was bad, down to the point where my mom and dad got physically fighting. I remember taking care of my brothers because mom and dad really weren't there. Either they were working and my dad was an alcoholic. My dad tried to look for a better job as a construction worker, saying that it was better for economic wise. And at first it was, but then it started going bad again. We were economically worse than we were before than I can remember. Their love life was worse. My mom wanted to leave my dad. My dad kept on drinking more. My brother, my younger brother, ended up having deep depression. My other brother ended up falling in drugs as well. I fell in drugs. I started hanging in high school with the wrong people. It all started with cigarettes. Started hanging out with parties. Started drinking a lot. Then I joined marijuana.
Fernando grew up with many different issues within his family. The paranormal activity that he noticed at his home only made his family problems worse.
I knew that as soon as I get back home, whatever that paranormal stuff that was happening was gonna get me. I knew that it was just waiting for me. I started seeing like shadows, started seeing like if it was like a little person, a kid trying to chase me or anything in my room, across my bed, in my backyard. I started hearing like footsteps, scratches on the walls, voices. And then it started getting to the point where doors were moving, closing, opening, shutting. Wherever I used to go to sleep, I felt like if somebody was on top of me, I couldn't move. I try to yell, I always try to scream, try to snap out of it. I was conscious, but I just couldn't move. When I used to go to sleep as well, I used to wake up with bruises, and all that kept on happening. My mom started getting nervous, worried about me. My dad didn't believe me. He thought that I was going crazy. My mom ended up meeting somebody that says that could help us in that spiritual way. She told me, she brought her into our house, told us that there's some spiritual wrong in the house that is just coming after me. She gave us a list of things to do. She told me to shower with certain liquids, certain soaps, that is for my protection. So I was desperate to get that thing away, so I did everything she told me, but instead of helping me, it made it worse, because now I wasn't just seeing things exactly, but my family was seeing it now. My brothers started noticing that something was in the house. They started hearing footsteps. They started seeing the doors close. My mom started noticing it as well. I got into a deep depression to the point where I also wanted to commit suicide. I remember one time I tried to overdose myself with some pills because I also had health issues with my stomach. I had a lot of pain in my stomach, down to the point where I collapsed one time at work, and they took me to the hospital, and just to find out that I had nothing. I had a lot of hatred towards my own family, especially my dad, because I blamed them for everything that was going on in my life. I thought that he was just being selfish because all he was doing was just drinking and drinking his life away. He didn't care about, or didn't seem to bother about anybody else's problems or try to fix anything. So I had a lot of hatred towards him, to the point where one day we were fighting in the kitchen, and my dad tried to hit me. So I pulled out a knife on him, and I threatened him. I told him that I was tired already of him, that I didn't want him anymore. I never needed him. Tried to kill them, until my mom basically took the knife out of my hand.
His whole family was destroyed, but after watching the Showdown of Faith, they decided to come to the Universal Church.
And I remember my mom was watching TV, and she said, she was listening to a testimony, and she told me that basically what that person was going through was something that I was going through, what we were all going through. So we decided to give it a try. My mom was like, what's the worst that can happen? Let's go give it a try. So I remember coming here on a Sunday at 9:30 in the morning to the church. And as soon as I walked in, the very first thing I noticed was I was peace, calm. I was happy, something that I never thought I was gonna have ever since a kid. So that urge that was coming in there, that's made me want to come more, trying to find out about more. I started doing the chain of prayer. and I was delivered through the deliverance of coming in my spiritual life. The first thing I noticed was I could fall asleep in my own bed again. I wasn't scared. My insomnia disappeared. I wasn't seeing shadows no more, hearing anything. Then little by little, it kept on coming during these chains. My family as well started changing. After my first encounter, I had my baptism with God. We participated in the service. I was preparing myself for a week. I was doing fastings. I was doing whatever I needed to take, reading the books of the bishop. When we were doing the seeking on a Wednesday, it's just this happiness ever since that day till today. Whatever it is, I can have anybody, have nobody. It's just this, I feel fulfilled. I feel happy, a peace of mind. And with the Holy Spirit, I ended up changing also my financial life. I ended up getting my career. Something that I couldn't do by myself, because I tried after I graduated for a year and a half, nobody wanted to hire me. I was still unemployed. And to make it worse, I was in debt with student loans. After with the Holy Spirit, with the way way of teachings and sacrifices through the campaigns, I also sacrificed through many things, and God gave me an opportunity to actually work for a state employee job, something that I wasn't even planning or ever thought about it. I was thinking of another direction, and He gave me that. I'm getting paid at the moment right now $45 an hour, and it's every year my pay increases, benefits, health benefits, everything. I got out of debt. I had a $35,000 student loan debt. It's paid off. I wasn't able to buy anything I wanted. Never even had. I remember I used to have a 1990 Toyota Camry, something raggedy, always falling apart. I ended up buying my brand new car, 0 miles. I was the first one to actually sit on it. And the Holy Spirit always shows you the correct way, without actually using your own force, your own strength. But even after achieving everything or achieving what you put your goals to, at the same time, it doesn't matter, because the Holy Spirit is the one thing that always kept me at peace of mind, peace of myself, love, and something that what I was searching for there since I was young, happiness, true happiness.